Welcome, everybody, to the Home Buyer's Guide podcast. I'm Craig Nash with Unleashed Advisors at eXp Realty, and I'm here with my beautiful wife, Annie Nash, at Unleashed Advisors with eXp Realty. And today we're going to give some tips about the home buying process. If you're a first-time home buyer or a seasoned vet, these are tips that everyone can use, and we're going to walk you right through the whole process from point A to point Z. So Annie, welcome.
Thanks.
And what is step number one?
So step number one in the home buying process is to find a real estate professional. They're going to help walk you through and guide you in thinking about the things that are most important to you in your home buying. So they're going to help you think through location. You always hear location, 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 right? Well, it is one of the more important items when you're thinking about a home. And we've actually got a checklist that we help our home buyers go through. And I think we'll link that in the comments below so that everybody has access to that. But it walks you through what's the size of the house you want, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, do you want a 2-story, a single story, do you want the unicorn basement? Do you need a fenced in yard? Do you have pets? Schools? It goes through, it's 3 pages of questions that really makes you think about what you want.
So it really jogs your memory, your mind, of what you need and what you actually want in a house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So what would you say would be next?
So number 2 for me is you need to talk to a lender and get pre-approved and see exactly what you can afford and what your budget is. That way you're not looking at houses that you can't afford and fall in love with something that you can't afford.
Right.
But it's very important that you get in touch with a lender, figure out what your payment is, figure exactly where you're comfortable at, and then we start looking for a home that is within that budget.
So where would somebody find a lender?
Well, that's a great question. So if you're working with a real estate professional, they probably have all the contacts that you need as far as a lender goes. You can go look on the internet and find one of those lenders. But personally, I like working with local lenders. It's because they know the area, they know everything, that they need here in the upstate of South Carolina. But also is that they have a good relationship with the real estate professional. They worked with several deals, and there might be a niche that one of them might have that the other one doesn't have, or they make loans on certain properties. They don't make loans on certain properties. The real estate professional is going to know who those people are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So what happens after they get pre-qualified, Annie? They're ready to go buy a house?
So once one of my clients has their pre-qual letter, we know what they can spend, what they want to spend on a monthly payment, that kind of thing. It's time to do my favorite part is actually shopping for a home. So it's setting up your home searches, it's going through them, looking online and all the other places, but actually getting out there and looking at a home, walking through a home. So after you've gone through that questionnaire that we talked about, and here's what I want. I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and then you start walking through a few, you might figure out maybe you need 4 bedrooms, or maybe you need something a little bit different than what initially had thought. But that's when you really get to look, feel, and touch the homes and find the right one for you. So what do you think is next?
So after that, after you find your dream home, it's time to put in an offer, make an offer for that dream home. There's a lot of intricacies to making an offer. Price, when you want to close on it, what kind of due diligence period that you want to do all your inspections. Are you making it contingent on appraisal? Are you making contingent on termite inspection? There's all kinds of things. Are you making contingent on financing? That's where your real estate professional really comes in handy, because they know that contract pretty much on a daily basis, backwards and forwards, and they help you walk through that process and explain it to you from A to Z. And then, you get under contract, get ratified, and you're ready to go on to the next step. So what's that next step?
So after we've got a ratified contract, we are into the due diligence period, and we're doing inspections. Usually I'll provide a list of inspectors to my clients for them to choose who they want to have. These are people that I've worked with in the past that do a great job and I know are reliable and going to give us good quality service to my clients. But we do the inspection, get the whole understanding of what that house is like, because you walk through it, you spend 30, even if on a long tour of a home and you've spent an hour in that home, there's things that you don't know about it. And so the importance of that inspection is that you know in and out the electrical, the plumbing, the roof, the structure, all those pieces.
Yeah, the
and you can
inspectors
negotiate.
are really good at finding the unseen stuff that you can't see while you're touring the house. And
Yeah.
that's even with like new builds too. I
Right.
mean, new build, they just put them houses up pretty quick nowadays, and they might miss a few things that need to be, solved before you get into that house.
Right. Yep. So after you've got the inspection completed, that's also the time to negotiate any repairs, or maybe you need a seller credit instead of the repairs. So if some of the repairs are, you could afford it later or not afford it. If some of those repairs are something that you could have completed on your own later, you might be able to negotiate a seller credit. So the seller's paying for that.
Yeah, some buyers like to do their stuff themselves versus having somebody else do it before they move in. So,
Yeah. But some of the benefits to that, like I had a client that they needed a new roof and there wasn't time to have the roof replaced before closing.
Mm-hmm.
So they got a seller credit and were able to put the roof on themselves, and they chose who did the roofing
Right.
and who did the repairs. So there's some benefits both ways to do that.
Yeah.
So after we've got our inspections done, we've come to negotiate, or we've negotiated, we've come to an agreement on the repairs or the seller credit in lieu of repairs. What's our next step?
Well, that's basically where we turn the lawyers loose and we let them do all the title searches and the title work on the property to make sure that it has a clean title. And the reason we do it after repairs is because we don't want to have our clients actually pay for something that they might back out of. So we wait until after the repairs are negotiated. But they do all the title search. They make sure the title's clean and it is insurable after their, after closing day, so that they don't have anybody coming back on them, like laying claim to something that happened 100 years ago on that property. So, and then also the lender is doing all their stuff in the background. They're ordering an appraisal at this time, and the appraisal is very important just to make sure the lender's only going to lend what the house is worth. So they're making sure that house is worth what you got a contract for. So if it becomes in a little low, then we're back to the negotiating table with the seller to see if we can't come to some kind of agreement on that price of the house. So what's after that?
Now we are to the big day. Everybody's sitting down at the table. We're all going to sign off all the documents. We got a stack about like that of the deed, the title, your mortgage, promissory note, and all of the paperwork. And then you have yourself a pretty new house.
Yeah.
So you get the keys, the clickers, all the stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's an awesome day, isn't it?
it is. It's a fun day to finally, because it's quite a process to get from figuring out you're ready to buy a house to finding the right one and everything.
Yeah.
So
It is definitely a process. We kind of simplified it here pretty easy, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background that, a lot of people don't realize, but your real estate people work really hard on a daily basis to get you from point A to point Z as seamlessly as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. So buying a home is a huge decision. So take your time, hire a professional, stay organized. And if you've got any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And we will see you next time. Look out, world. We are unleashed.